You crave intimacy and closeness with others, and yet a lot of your efforts seem to be pointed in the direction of pushing others away and stopping them from getting close to you. Seems a bit counterintuitive and counterproductive, don't you think? What's up, guys? It's Jack, back with another video, and today I just want to talk about this idea that we often crave the intimacy and closeness and close bonds with others that we kind of undermine through our own efforts, our behaviors, our ways of doing things. And I am starting to realize that I'm someone who values having close relationships. I think we all really care about that. And it's always something that's been in the back of my mind is improving my relationships, improving my bonds with other people. Like, how can I get closer to the people in my life in this certain era and things like that. And I'd often get annoyed or feel unsatisfied if I felt like I was in a state where I wasn't really getting closer with someone, or trying to find the barrier of like, okay, how can I connect with this person a bit more is often something that I find myself thinking about, and like a desire I often find when I'm interacting with other people, especially new people, especially if it's someone I'm interested in, having this idea of how can I get closer to this person, because we've all had those cases where we meet someone for the first time and you instantly hit it off, you instantly connect. And I can remember these two people I met freshman year of college. I met them in March, and then to the end of the school year I probably only hung out with them like 4 or 5 times, but every time I did, I felt like so close to them. They felt like such a big part of my college experience. They still do feel like a significant part of my college experience, just in terms of, their value, how much I appreciated their presence, how much I was able to connect with them, how much we hit it off. But then with other people, plenty of people I met my freshman year or all throughout college, where you see them 20, 30, 40, 50 times, spend, probably proportionally like much more time with them, and yet I didn't really feel that connection with them. I was curious, like, how can I connect with this person more, and I didn't know like what that was. A lot of it is, people are at times incompatible. They have different interests. Even if you think someone was really similar to you at the start, they can turn out to be different in terms of values, things like that. Not everybody's supposed to be there for a certain amount of time. People might not have the same interest in you as you have interest in them. But a problem I often found myself facing was I wanted to have these close relationships, get closer with people, and yet it always seemed that throughout my times, like growing up, whenever I would have a crush on a girl, ironically, I would want to spend as little time as possible with them, because I was always nervous, and I was always, especially, this where it would get fucky, if I found out that they liked me, especially if they liked me romantically, I would get really nervous and try to avoid them, because I was like, oh, how do I like maintain this image, this positive image that they have of me in their head? I have to keep that. Oftentimes I would feel crippled by this idea that, oh shit, like this person does like me. Somehow when I didn't know how they felt about me, I felt more free flowing. But as soon as I knew that this person thought of me positively, I felt like shackled of like, oh, how can I not mess up this image that they have? And it would just mess with my brain, and I would try to avoid that person. But again, it was really dumb, and it made no sense, because I was pushing away the very person that I wanted to get close to, have a intimate relationship with. And that kind of mindset has definitely carried over, where even though I do still want close relationships, I've found myself pushing others away at certain times when they did try to get closer to me, when they did invite me to things, when they did invite me to social events and things of that nature. I would still say no, push them away, and that would be a variety of things. Maybe I just was worried of being awkward, having awkward situations, things like that. I've said no to people that I'm not as close with inviting me to things in fear of awkwardness or just unpleasant situations where maybe we have awkward silences, or it's just not as fun as we thought it would be. And I've turned down plans a bunch of times, and I think that's been a flawed approach, because it's just led me to not get as close with others. And something else that I realize is that I'm often not truthful with others about my interests, the things that I really care about. And to be fair, I think my interests are kind of, well, some people think they're boring. I really, really only care about like filmmaking, YouTube/content, and the gym. Those are my main focuses at this period in my life. And to some people that might be pretty boring, but I think it's just about being my authentic self and just showing people that, oh, this is who I am, this is what I'm interested in, and not trying to hide myself, not trying to avoid situations like that where I'm being honest, feeling the need to put up a facade. Because at that point, what is the point? What is the point in trying to give a cool answer of, oh, what did you do today, if you didn't do anything? One of the best interactions, or not best, but a very pleasant interaction I had was when I ran into a friend I hadn't seen in a while. We caught up for a little bit, and she just asked me what I was gonna do, because we talked for a bit and then I was just gonna leave, but she asked me what I was going to do, and I could have just said, oh, I'm going to go home, things like that, just left the gym, which was true, but I just told her, I said, I'm just gonna go get some yogurt. And that was the authentic answer, where I was just super truthful about what I was going to do and who I am, and I think things like that bring people together when you're ruthlessly authentic, and I'll make a video about this very soon, but it puts things into perspective. There was a time in my life where I would often avoid one-on-one hangouts with people. I used to hate one-on-one hangouts with people, and the reason was because I had this fear of, oh, what about if there's an awkward silence? What if it's just awkward? We don't know what to talk about. We don't have the most chemistry. What if they think I'm lame? What if they think I'm boring? I had this persistent fear, even with friends I'd known for years. So I would only go for the group hangouts. I only wanted to do group hangouts. This was obviously very counterproductive for me, someone who always wants to improve relationships with others and get closer to them. I was not allowing myself to be put in situations that might be more intimate, that do have a higher chance of awkwardness if they go wrong, but are also just naturally more intimate. That one-on-one, when you're just talking to someone, just you, there's nothing else distracting you guys, that those moments when you can really deeply connect with someone. Not to say that you can't do that in a group, but it's just different when you're with another person, you and them. And I used to dread these scenarios. I used to really try to avoid them as much as I could, but again, I just realized, what was the point of that? I was operating out of fear. I was not really living up to the standard I have of, or the desire of, wanting to connect deeply with other people. That's just some food for thought that I wanted to put out there for you guys. If the goal is to connect with others more deeply, then I think that vulnerability, that honesty, that just being authentic with other people, allowing yourself to be in those situations where things might get more awkward, where they are more intimate, where they're scarier. And sometimes they won't work out, but you have to open yourself up to that possibility in order to give yourself the chance of making a really cool friend who you find out, damn, this person, I really connect with that person. We are so similar. I really want to become close with this person and build those authentic, genuine friendships that are worth more than 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 superficial friends. So just some food for thought. All these videos are a reminder to myself. You want to get closer to other people, but are you truly opening yourself up to them? Are you allowing yourself the chance to, are you saying yes to a hangout that might potentially be awkward, but might potentially also be really sick? Are you opening yourself up to that possibility of being judged negatively, of being vulnerable, of telling people who you truly are? Because again, if not, then I feel like either your priority is not getting closer with other people, or you're just taking the wrong approach.